Generational shifts are underway. There's a massive $30 trillion global transfer of wealth to millennials and Generation Z. This new group of consumers is the most tech savvy, social, and mission driven. Cowen estimates that 65% of them spend 4 or more hours on smartphones engaging in digital communities. 75% of Generation Z cites sustainability and social impact as important in their purchasing decisions.
How is retail engaging the shopper of the future who wants goods and services faster than ever before, a connected shopping experience, and also community engagement full of purpose? We're excited to sit down with Brian Cornell, Target's CEO and Chairman, to find out what will it take to win in the new consumer environment. Brian, it's great being here with you. One key concept in retail we think about is magic and logic. Magic's about surprise and delight, and logic's really about supply chain and inventory. How does that resonate with Target and what you're doing?
Well, I think it's Target at its best. The combination of our merchants out there planning months in advance, and then our stores bringing it to life. And the role our visual merchants play in stores is really important to make sure that we take that great assortment and bring it to life, create that magic for our guests.
What about the younger customers? What do younger customers want?
During the pandemic, we saw how important those same-day services were for the guest. I mean, obviously we saw explosive growth in Drive Up. One of the most exciting factoids I've seen recently is that Gen Z consumer, they love shopping in physical stores. So think about where we are today, coming out of the pandemic. Obviously, guests across the country have told us they still love shopping in stores, but when you see a Gen Z consumer say, actually, I prefer shopping in a physical store versus online, that says we've got a pipeline of growth for years to come. So that Gen Z consumer leaning into retail, enjoying the social component of walking a store, that's really exciting for me.
Brian, value and the pressured consumer is also an important theme in winning in this environment. How does Target offer clear value?
Well, you go back to our core brand promise, expect more and pay less. And we've got to make sure we balance both. We want to make sure we've got great design, great style, we're on trend, and we've got to deliver it at a great value. And I think in this environment, we know value is more important than it's been in years. With inflation at a 40-year high, gas prices that have accelerated, we've got to make sure throughout the shopping experience, we're delivering great value and letting our guests know they can afford to shop at Target.
Target Circle is also a really great, engaging product, and a part of the future is data. What about Target Circle, and how does that engender loyalty?
Well, we've had it in place for a couple of years now. We already have 100 million members. So the opportunity for us to deepen that relationship with the guest, making sure we're sending them very relevant offers, connecting with them, understanding their lifestyle. For us, that's really the future of how we build our brand and connect even deeper with our guests.
Brian, community is a key theme, and also we believe customers really seek mission and purpose when they purchase. What are some key initiatives Target's been pursuing in that vein?
I'll start with our purpose. And we wake up every day trying to help all of our families discover that little bit of joy in everyday life. And our brand is all about connecting with families. If you go back to our first store back in 1962, we've been giving back 5% of our pre-tax profits since the day we started. And we do that because we know if we can help the local communities, that's going to help our brand. So giving back is part of who we are. And it's the connection we have with our teams, our guests, and that local community that make Target such an iconic brand. So we've talked about the importance of partnerships for years. And one of the most important one is right here with Chip and Jo and Magnolia. Sitting here today, we're expanding Ulta Beauty at Target. Levi's partnership is a really important one for us. Our guests love having access to Levi products. We're building Apple stores inside of our stores. We continue to build Disney stores. So these partnerships are so important to who we are.
Target's been a really exciting pioneer of own brands as well, Brian. In retail, what does it take to execute in own brands?
Our own brand portfolio is a $30 billion portfolio. It takes a global sourcing group that can find great vendor partners to bring those brands to life. It takes merchants who have a vision and an understanding of guest trends. And then it takes our store system to bring those brands to life each and every day and create this great visual experience so that when you walk in, this feels like a brand that connects with you personally. The great plans sound great in a boardroom. They look great on a PowerPoint presentation, but for us, it's all about execution. And we've got to do that at scale, across almost 2,000 stores. 20% of our business now is done digitally. So we've got to make sure we're executing both physically and digitally each and every day.
Brian, we also think younger consumers care about self-care, and beauty's been a great category. Why partner with Ulta?
It starts with a request from our guests. And we talked to our guests several years ago about, all right, what brands would you like to see at Target that are not there today? And on the top of the list was Ulta Beauty. At our core, we're curators. We're not looking to have the endless aisle. We're not looking for millions and millions of items in our assortment. The guest has told us they expect us to curate for them. And we've done that with Ulta Beauty at Target. The best of Ulta that's right for our guests each and every day that they shop.
Brian, Black owned and founded brands,
Yes,
and
really
Target's
important.
been very committed to diversity and inclusion. Could you tell us about this and some efforts you're making more broadly as well?
We said we're going to improve Black representation across every part of our company by 20%. We also said we're going to spend $2 billion between now and 2025 with Black vendors and service providers. And this is just an example of how we're bringing that to life. We are a company that really believes in the importance of diversity and equity and inclusion, and we wanted to make sure we made a difference in this space.
Why do a shop and shop? Why is this important?
Well, we learned as we go back to Hearth and Hand, the work we're doing with Disney, Apple stores, Levi's at Target, and now Ulta. Our guests love seeing some of these great iconic brands in our stores. So creating this experience is so important. So with about 1,200 square feet, we can bring Ulta to life. And our guests love the fact that they have the convenience of shopping at Target and also experiencing one of their favorite brands, which is Ulta Beauty.
What about your loyalty programs? Ulta has a powerful one too, and Target Circle does as well. How do you synergize these?
Well, that's the magic of bringing that data together. We've connected those two programs so they get credit for both their Target Circle membership and also being part of the Ulta Beauty Reward Program.
Food and beverage and having a durable, diverse portfolio is also important in this age of consolidating trips across the industry.
Well, we've learned a lot about the food business, and we've invested in this business for years now to build the right capabilities. Standing here today, what I would tell you, the keys for us in food, we've got to make sure we win with freshness. The quality of this product, you look at produce, is really important. We've got to be reliable, which means we've got to be in stock with those great items every day, every time you shop. So for us, it's getting those fundamentals in place. Freshness of product, reliability of in-stocks, making sure we're seasonally relevant, and delivering great value to our guests every time they shop.
What's next in food and beverage?
What we're really excited about is the way the guest is responding to Good and Gather and Favorite Day, our two own brands. Good and Gather right now is already a $2 billion brand for us.
What really sets these brands apart? Which one's your favorite?
Well, I've got lots of favorites. I'll tell you what I really love about these brands is just the way they're packaged. It feels like a high quality brand. It screams freshness and excitement, some unique flavors, and our guests just love both Favorite Day and Good and Gather. But we've spent a lot of time on packaging and package design, making sure we're presenting something to the guests where they say, boy, I'm really excited to try this product.
Target's been about helping families get together and events as well. How would you say that's evolving with your assortment and the stores?
We're standing here in front of baby. We know how important it is for us to connect with young moms when they're having their first child, coming to Target to get diapers and formula, the first car seat, and it builds a lifelong connection. So we know they're going to go from shopping for diapers to kind of walking down and buying toys. And toys is a really important category for us.
And this is a competitive category.
It is, but we are one of the biggest toy retailers in America. And it allows us to work closely with our vendors to find unique properties and items that are only sold exclusively at Target. So working with Disney or Mattel or Hasbro, bringing the best of their assortment to life each and every day, and particularly as we get ready for the holiday season, that's part of the magic that we have to bring our guests, as they think about the toy category at Target.
You've had a really powerful partnership with Apple as well.
We've had a great relationship, and we're starting to open up Apple stores within our stores.
Wow.
And it's an iconic brand, and we know that most of our Target guests, they're Apple users. So it's really synergistic. Our two brands work really well together. Houston White at Target is our latest partnership, and it's one that is pretty personal for me. I met Houston back in February of 2020, just before the start of the pandemic. And I met him in his local barbershop. We had about 40 Target team members there. I did some Q&A with him during the night. We talked about business and Target. We talked about life and sports. And we went from having that conversation to launching his brand this week at Target across the entire United States. He's in about 200 stores right now. We've made a commitment to working with startup companies. We said we're going to spend $2 billion with Black entrepreneurs and vendors and service providers. This is just part of the example of how we're bringing those relationships to life. And this one is going to be a hit.
The other factor here, Brian, is you have Levi's here and Goodfellow.
Well, this is a great spot where we can show our own brand, a great national brand partner, and a startup company all working together to meet the needs of our guests. It's a perfect example of Target at its best.
Brian, what does it take to win in the new consumer environment?
I think to win today, you've got to be consumer focused. I think you've got to listen and learn every single day, be on top of emerging trends, but I think it all comes back to you've got to be consumer centric to win.
Cowen sees the winning formula as what we call the 3 C's: connected retail, contextualized retail, and community retail.
These are some of the many ways retailers are evolving to win in the new consumer environment.